Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Well, human design is all very good in finding out who you are and who other people are and transits and such like. But one of the major things that people have difficulty is, how do I make a living being myself? And this was quite popular last time I answered some questions on this, and more came. So that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to begin with Faye. This is her question. I've been on the HD journey for about 5 years now. Since then, my life has flowed away from my conditioning and a more conventional path. Though I had normal office jobs in my 20s, I was burnt out by my 30s. Freelance writing work seemed to help slow down my lifestyle. Now I cannot imagine going back to the 9-to-5 office work. Though corporate copywriting certainly is not my passion, it was something I was able to do, using my talents as a writer to make money. This work, that wasn't even my passion to begin with, but paid the bills, is now drying up as AI takes over. I've tried many different paths in the past few years, training as a yin yoga instructor, writing screenplays, editing, but nothing seems to stick or provide reliable income. I thought writing was my gift, but maybe I'm wrong. In terms of the fourth line, networking is something I've been able to use to help other people get jobs, but I've never had much success there for myself. With the first line, I am a natural researcher and love diving into things, but that work also seems to be increasingly displaced by AI. Am I missing something in my chart that I'm not tapping into? Well, Faye, thank you for posing this question to me. So you are a juxtaposition cross. You are the cross of the trickster. And in the sun personality, we have censorship. So this is basically, part of your transmitter channel, the design of a transmitter, the channel of surrender. You are here to be able to persuade people. And you persuade people very well with your writing. But you don't really want to work for the corporates anyway. And now it's drying up because of AI. That road is being closed off from you. But then who are you? You have a purely abstract mind. Your mind is trying to make sense of what happened in the past and coming up with one perspective or another. Endless ideas and a kind of narrative, in a moving narrative, like a story. One thing leads to the other, or could be. So it's really about putting out a larger than life mind into the commercial world in a way that can help other people. And when we look at your open throat, the open throat is there to attract attention. It's not to attract attention to you, it's to attract attention to whatever the filters are. And you have it in the 45 line 4. So the gathering of people together, hopefully in alignment with higher principles on the material plane. Or the opposite of that is gathering people together for material benefit, but not according to higher principles. And whenever we get involved with work, with making a living, it should be something that resonates with us. You are naturally an entrepreneur, and there you are working for corporations and wondering why it's drying up. It's going to dry up. AI is going to change things. But I would put it to you that, as an investigator, you look into it. You've got the 48 line 4, this solutions, collection of solutions in your chart. You may not consciously have it, but you do have it unconsciously. So I would suggest you embrace AI rather than going, it's taking my job, it's an enemy. I mean, the tribe can make friends with their enemies and grow the tribe. And I would have thought making friends with AI, going deeply into that, giving it, after all, the attention that it deserves to be able to give you back. In other words, there are lots of things you can now do with AI. Not that I'm an expert, I'm not. But you can create any kind of background. You can create any kind of moving narrative. You don't need the expensive lights and the all the gear that we used to need. You can do it with a click of a few buttons if you know what you're doing. Now, happily, you do know what you're doing when it comes to writing. It's not like you're suddenly redundant because AI can do all the writing for you. To be able to effectively use AI, you need to prompt it really specifically. And I'm quite sure you can do that. I see that you've got a very creative side to you that could be used on behalf of companies or individuals or establishments that you like, that are there for the higher good, that are there to help people. And I would have thought some kind of service like that would certainly help, at least to begin with, to see which companies, which people are out there that you really appreciate. Now, I know as a projector, you've got to wait for the invitation, and I'm inviting you right now to look and see what kind of people you want to work with and how can you help them. To get a money flow, there has to be a perceived value, and the greater the perceived value, the greater the flow. Well, you have lots of tools in AI. You may not know which ones to use at the moment, but you can find out. The first line will dig in where it's weak to get strong. And there are many tools out there where, as a trickster, in fact, a mystical trickster in your case, because you also have the channel of initiation, to get it out there and to bring people to see things in a different way. And with censorship, you can put it in such a way that people are going to be really attracted to whatever company or person that you're going to be promoting. So I wouldn't run away from it. I would embrace it and go, well, what can I do with it? It's a tool after all, and tools can be used well or they can be used badly. And you've got the brains to be able to go in there and find out what it's about. You can get some education in it. There are a lot of free courses out there. There are people that you will know that are involved with it. I would go into that. I would try to find out if you can be a part of it, using AI as the tool that it is on behalf of those that can't, that you appreciate, that you would like to help. And my God, they're going to need your help, because a lot of businesses are going to come against this same thing of AI coming in and taking over. Turn the tables on it. Use AI for their benefit. Align to the service of those people that you really respect, and be their friend and be the one that can help them move on despite the changes that are happening in the world. That's what I reckon would be a potential for you. But that's only the beginning. You are not a generator. I don't want you working all the time, time for money. Who's good out there? Who are you going to meet along the way who you can delegate some of this to? There are a lot of younger people out there that are really getting into AI, and they don't come from the same writing background and education as you, but they do know quite a lot about tech and how to make it work and how to make things go viral. And I suggest you get onto their team, or better still, bring them into your team. So how can you use the latest technology and the people that are getting involved in it in a way that can really help support the companies and the people that you want to get out there in the world? That's what I'd be looking at. And maybe also thinking about it as some kind of exclusive club, where they have to pay a membership, not only for your services, but also for your updates and other things that you will be able to add to your services as you bring on people that are specialists in different ways. Bring in the team. You're here as a manager in a way, as a projector, and with the 4426, here to deal with the people, but not just as a salesperson, as someone who can get the right people on board in order to help others. So that's what I'd be looking at. So that's one thing I would say. The other thing would be, there is a lot in your design that can help people in a spiritual way as well. I know you've tried the yoga, but then you're one yoga teacher among many. And it's not always easy, especially for the 2644, to be able to promote themselves. That's often that often gets in the way. The other thing is that the fixed will in the way that it is, and bearing in mind your type, it is always better for you to go high end rather than low end. You know, you have the 51 that wants to be the first. You have the ability to initiate people into something completely new. You have the open sacral that is there to ride on the newness, to bring a new order into the way things are done. How can you set things up where other people can be marketed through systems that you can set up with the text you can bring in? You know, there's all kinds of technical stuff you can bring in, all kinds of people who specialize in it. There are freelancers you can bring in from Upwork and places like that. And you will learn also, as you find out about it, you will learn about what is possible. And feel that you're doing a good job for people, and they will praise you, and they'll be happy that you've come in and, you know, you've got whatever their services or products out there. So you can really help be a transformative agent, which you are designed to be in the world, and still be in charge of your own life. So using all that you are in a clever way is, for the current times, is really where what I'm seeing in this chart. A long time ago, decades ago, I was living in London, and I was driving by one of the big buildings, and there was this huge advert, massive advert, going down the side of a building that said, "The time is near." I thought, what does that mean? And the next time I drove by, it said, "He is coming." I thought, who's coming? You know what? That's a big thing to say. They haven't told me who it is. And then they give me, then the next one is, I think at Wembley Park, and a date. He is coming. So we got the date, we got the time. I still don't know who it is. So there was this kind of suspense in a way. It was a curiosity for me. I had no idea what it was, but I was thinking, what is going on here? Is there something I should know about? Is there someone I should know is coming? Turns out to be one of these major American evangelists. I think it was Billy Graham who they were advertising at the time. But it got me intrigued. It tricked me into putting my attention into the side of the building because I was curious. Who is this? What is going on? You know, you're capable of doing that. You're capable of bringing in the narrative, but not revealing it all at once. You know, a drip feed, getting them curious, getting them engaged in it in some clever way, with images, with words. I mean, you're well up for that. So I would go in that direction, or at least think about going in that direction, and see what you find. Get some good training if you can. There is some useful things out there. Don't waste your money on idiots. You know, try and get someone who really knows what they're doing, learn from them, and use that to help other people. And that will also bring you in a financial flow. So that's just a quick look. And also think about the pacing, think about the timings of things, when to release certain things, when to have special offers on your services or whatever. And again, you can automate a lot of this. You know, once you set it up, or once it gets set up, it's then a service you can add to other clients that come along. So those are my thoughts, and I hope that's been helpful. Thanks for your question. Our next question is from Patrice, and this is her question. I am a 5/2 Splenic Projector with a lot of second line energy and more than enough fifth line energy. Needless to say, projection has a major role in my life. I have the greatest challenge trying to figure out how to monetize my gifts in a way that is honest for me. There's a new unconscious gift I discover each cycle of my life that I get projected on around to no end. I want to guide others, but I want to combine art, design, science, spirituality, and relationships all into one pot. So I have 15 things that want to be expressed at the same time. And the baseline work that drives me is what people come to me for, but don't want to pay me for, nor recognize me for. This is even when I'm screaming it, promoting it, sharing it daily, but they want to draw from me for it with no limits. It's like, yes, but that other thing you used to do you still do that? Or completely lump me in as a hairstylist or something I've never even shown interest or expertise in? Then will want my guidance on their life decisions in casual conversation. It has been greatly difficult to see myself, needless to say. Yet over time, I have gained clarity and placed boundaries around where I share my energy. I have lost everyone, including my clients, as a result, just went completely dry. I'm not sure how to navigate my professional life or to make a life for myself financially while still being able to keep heart in what I do without feeling consumed, without respect, and by the people I love or serve. Well, Patrice, that's an interesting question. How to combine art and design and science and spirituality and relationships all in one pot. I would say, given your chart, so we've got the practicality and the rebelliousness and the heresy of the fifth line, and we have the gifts and the naturalness and the youthfulness of the second line. And the second line really wants to play. I mean, that's really it. It just wants to play. And in your nodal path, I see there are also second lines. So what about working with children in some way? You can bring everything into one pot then. You can show them things. You can open their life up for them, using that logical side of your mind to show them, what science can show, to show them what different materials can be used for art, to be able to talk to them about some of the things that you question yourself. Why is it like that? Get them thinking about, well, why is the sky blue? What is this? You can begin to show them, you can begin to create things for them that would both educate and delight them and have a lot of fun. And it's also something, because it's experiential, you're here to fulfill the life through relating and relationships. So it's an experiential workshops is what I'm thinking about. For perhaps those parents that are worried about their children spending too much time on the phones and on TikTok and whatever, to bring it into your club where they can actually play and discover things. And I'm sure you'll make it very entertaining. And you can have all kinds of things. You don't have to be held to a particular curriculum, but at the same time, you will get them thinking. You're here to be inspiring. You're here to play, but you're also here to show them things that they can use in their life as well. So that's really what I'm picking up on. Like our previous questioner, you have the 48, you have the transmitter, you have this ability to be able to project out to others a new way of looking at things. Take them into some of the things that you find entertaining, but things that can be useful for them. And maybe things that haven't had a light shone on them properly. The use of bicarbonate of soda for all the kinds of things it can do, and other things, little experiments. I think there could be a lot of creativity in that. And the 2644 is a very creative channel. You can get the children interested in something. They'll share it with their parents. They'll share it with their friends. Your reputation could grow from the benefit that you bring to the children because you'll make them think. And they'll be looking forward to seeing what they can learn from you next time, because they probably won't know. A bit like me, it's like, well, something completely different this week, kids. I want to go into this world with you. Have you ever wondered why? So this is also something that is AI proof in a way, because it's one thing to find out about something. It's something else to discover it together, in a group, certain things that could be useful for them. And I think you would enjoy it. Again, this is something as a projector you might want to bring other people into, other people that you recognize could help you in this endeavor and would also benefit. So don't think necessarily about you doing all of this on your own. I don't want you to burn out. I don't want you to push too hard. You know, some of the brightest children out there are those that are being homeschooled, and yet not everyone can homeschool their children. So you could offer something that would be help raise their intelligence by focusing on things that the normal curriculum is not focused on. All kinds of things you can come up with. So that's what I'm thinking. Have some fun with it. And you know, the happier the kids, the happier the parents. You know, I think, and you will be recognized from that, I'm sure, because 5-2s are amazing. You know, the kind of things you know that you haven't shared with other people, but you guys know a lot. There's all kinds of gifts in you. You just got to go with it. So I see in your throat you have 5s and 2s in the throat, which I interpret as being someone who can make things easier, simpler for people to understand. Otherwise, you know, there's no point. The will doesn't want to waste its energy repeating things. So like getting it down to the particular nub of what you want to say as simply as possible so the children can pick it up and experiment with it and have fun with it. So that's what I have to say to your question. I hope that's helpful. I hope you have a lot of fun with it. And I hope you inspire some younger people into thinking about things in a different way. Enjoy. Thank you for the question. Our next question on a similar theme is Ben. Here's his question. I can spend a lot of time trying to understand if something is incorrect for me to do or not, with this worry about what might happen if it is. I think this worry is getting in the way of me doing anything at all. Would it be helpful for me to have an attitude of, let's find out, and do it simply for the experience of it, as opposed to having a desired outcome as to where it would lead? Perhaps this view of doing it simply for the experience could invite curiosity instead of pressure. Things I've been looking at generally include creative pursuits, art, music, crafts, such as leatherwork, metalwork, and drawing skills. Last year has been a slow one, and perhaps it's time to begin exploring. A family friend who is a kind of intuitive healer had a message for me around reigniting old passions such as guitar, reawakening talents to life to bring confidence and a positive agenda. Okay, Ben, thanks for the question. And I think the intuitive healer's comment about you rekindling your musical gifts is a good one. You have a resonant voice. You have a lot of powerful energy to bring out, which is certainly there in the 2 manifesting channels you have. But also how to support the tribe, and in doing so, support yourself. And I think with your craft interest, I think that's a brilliant idea. But also not just you making things, but also teaching others how to make things. And to do it really beautifully, you know, not to just turn things out, but to make them creative, to make them artistic. The 35 is one of those incredible gates that is an experiential teacher. You know, you share what you've learned through, you know, you've been there, you've done that, you've learned this, you want diversity, you've found out a lot of different things. Sharing that, yes, opening people up to, you know, to what they can do by following your guidance and following what you do. And you'll make it interesting. You know, you have a mind that wants to think in a larger than life way. You can make it fun. The only thing is you've got to get out of your own way and not spend so long in the mind thinking about, well, what if I get it wrong? Well, as you said, you know, should I just do it anyway? If you respond to it strongly, whatever it is, you will do it. I mean, you'll already be doing some of it. The generator has to use all of their energy every day. And that includes manifesting generators. And you have a lot of energy in you. So yeah, I think that's one way to go. But I would also look and say, well, who wants to learn? How do I get it out there? How do people discover me? You've got to get out of the way and stop making it about you and start thinking about, look, how can you support other people? How can who you are, with your voice and with your practical skills, how can you get that out to other people? What will they learn from it? How can it be useful to them in their life? And being a 1-4, you know, you will be a specialist in certain things, really good at certain things. So maybe start with smaller groups. And again, it might be something that you want to involve younger people with as well, you know, teaching them some of the old crafts that are leaving the world, and making sure that they survive, and making sure that the people you train really can do it well, and also learning from them. One thing to say, you have wide valleys, so it's important for you to have enough space in your life, you know, and perhaps when I think about your chart and what you could do for a living, part of it may be to take people to some places that will really open them up, because travel has always been part of your life, or should be part of your life, I would think. This continual crescendo wave of, you know, I'm bored, I want to try something else, I want to try something that I haven't done before. Well, every time you get a new group of students coming in, it's a new group. You'll be able to use some of the experience from other groups you've taught, and finding the right ways to get through to them. But each new one will bring you in this diversity that you need. And I think that will be both exciting and very valuable for your students. The main thing is not to get stuck. You know, when generators get stuck, the life force doesn't move properly. So, you know, just to do it anyway. I mean, you know, I'm a third line, so I have my own views on just do it anyway. You know, I learn from mistakes. You're not so much in the same way. So just follow what the energy wants you to do. I think singing is beautiful. You can bring out that intimacy in the channel of mating. You can reach out with the longing in your voice to really break through to people. The fourth line, externalizing what you're feeling as you hold it in your mind. So maybe teach people to sing as well. Various things. You don't have to tie it to one thing, but to do something to keep the energy moving is, yes, that's really important. The less you do, the less you'll be able to do. So movement is certainly advised. And the other thing, well, it might be that you can find some really special places that will open people up. Undiscovered places that you've heard about, and you go and check out, and you find, hey, this is such a wonderful vibe. I want to bring that to the people around me. But yeah, it does mean moving. So yeah, life is movement. So get into it, whatever it is, and see what happens. At the same time, see that you're here to establish, you know, yourself in what your energy really wants to do. There is no point doing things for money if you don't want to keep on and on doing it. It's got to be something you love. It's got to be something that will connect you with other people. It's got to be something that's going to be valuable for them. And then they will pay you for your energy and for your wisdom. Okay, I hope that's helpful. And thank you for your question. Our final question is from Caroline. This is her question. I'm really stuck, and even if I feel I can find my way out, then I drop any idea I have. For example, being a guide, coach, motivator, I don't even know how to name it. But I know I could help people in quite an unconventional way. A mixture of active listening, questions, Reiki, I'm a practitioner, writing, crafts, walking in nature, etc. So they realize who they are, be kinder to themselves, and see their potential. It's so much easier to see it for others. But I can't even start to explain what I do because I never know beforehand what I'll say or use. I need to show who I am and what I do for people to ask me. But how can I do that when I have no formal process? I've started a Substack, published 2 tiny posts, and have been blocked in the middle of 2 others for almost 2 weeks. There's always this dance between the 5 and the 2. The let's not make a noise side seems to win. Who's going to read it anyway? It's also a big hit. In order to help others, I can't stay in survival mode, but I'm paralyzed like a rabbit in cars lights. With all that fear, it's difficult to listen to my sacral, even though I'm starting to feel my body a little bit more lately. Also, if I understand correctly, I'm supposed to sit still and focus and finish things, but it doesn't happen very often. I check almost all boxes of mixed ADHD. I dared to sell my house in France and move to the Italian Alps in my grandfather's village. Very few opportunities here. Without a plan at 50, and I'm afraid to just say, hi, here's what I do. I guess I'm trying to get some sort of validation that I shouldn't need with the self-motivation thing. But I really need to make a living, and so to desperate times. I'd really like to have your insights on how to get out of being stuck. Well, Caroline, that's quite a situation to be in. So you're in the Italian Alps in your grandfather's village and wondering what the hell you're going to do. Now, this might be a rather strange thing to say, so adapt it according to what may fit for you. But an idea came to me in looking at your Chiron. I see that you have the 6124, you have the channel of awareness, the channel of recognition, the 4130, and the 18, the channel of creative inspiration. So if we put those three together as the educational channels that they are, given your design, it's really about thinking outside the box, you know, perhaps bringing in some stories about the mystical, but basically getting them excited and doing your own thing. So doing your own thing, that's how you make your mark on that that village. So doing your own thing, what could that be? Well, the 56.2 is the design sun, genius, potential genius for storytelling. And the fourth gate in the open ajna, so filtering things through the answer. What's the answer? Well, the answer is, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I'm going to move, and I'm going to go and live in my grandfather's village. And here you are. But how about another way? I mean, this is a bit of a weird thing to suggest, and it could be, again, I don't know the exact theme that's going to work for you because we're not in dialogue, and that would really be the best thing. But I do know that a lot of people have come to a financial revenue and having had a lot of fun by doing murder mysteries in places where tourists gather. So it's a few hours and there's clues left. Now, you'd be very good at leaving clues and yet not giving the whole story away. Would that be something that would interest you? Creating something that's a fantasy, but it's also a lot of fun, and it also gets people involved, and perhaps it would also bring them another outlook to think about their own life in a new way. If there are tourists coming there, then this kind of thing may really work. So that's the idea that I have from looking at your chart and looking at the cycles. You're here to fulfill the life through relating and relationships. And you're a 5-2. So I know the 5-2 getting caught in the headlights. That is quite a common theme for 5-2s. But think about all the expectations that could rightfully be put your way if you come in and arrange something like that and then leave like a good fifth line should. Leave them wanting more. You know, new episode coming next month. Maybe certain central characters who are local will want to continue the character for episodes. I don't know, but it sounds like a bit of fun to me, and you should be having fun as a 5-2. And if you reckon you can pull that off, then go in there with the nervousness of I don't know what's going to happen, but still you have your rough plan, you have your outline, you have your clues, you have the venue. You can attract the people for something different and exciting. It's not, it's something that will be unusual for them, I'm sure. I mean, you are a rebel. So anyway, that's my, off the top of my head, idea for you, and mull it over. And one more tip, being a fifth line, way back in the past, I got involved with running Mind, Body, Spirit events at different hotels on their quiet days. You know, when there wasn't much, when the business was slower, the hotels are more open to having their space used in different ways. So they would make money, whereas they wouldn't normally make money in that time, and you would as well. So think about that. Think about how it can be a win-win situation for the people who are going to provide the venue, and also to get yourself known. And I've no doubt you'll be invited to other villages if it goes well. Again, this is a cycle of healing. It's a cycle of flowering, the beginning of the flowering. And rather than run away, now you're there to step into this new life in the village and make your mark. You know, not everyone's going to like it, and some people are going to absolutely love it. And there may be other people out there that can help as a support who would love to do that. You'd love to be part of something there, your crew, you know, to set things up for you, to help you to do things to make it work. And then you get to meet people, you get to have some friends around there, and hopefully a lot of laughs. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope, viewers, you've enjoyed my my look at the potential careers or possibilities for people who want to live in their own way according to themselves and still have revenue coming in. So if you liked it, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back again very soon with something completely different. Bye for now.